Hello guys, welcome back to JD Bots. So, we are here with the Enterprise Chatbot series, and in our last video, we had tried to connect to the bot analytics, that is application insights, to our chatbot. Today, we are going to configure the same thing in more detail from our source code. So, we'll be following this documentation, that is add telemetry to your bot. All right. So we'll be going step by step following this documentation. If you want to try it from your end, you can skip this video and do it by following this documentation, right? So basically they also use this sample, that is CoreBot sample app. It's built on top of CoreBot sample, but it includes the telemetry. Yeah, this is a scorebot sample, and they have another sample that is built on top of this core bot sample, this one, right? So we have this core bot app inside samples. We'll be following this sample to modify our bot source code. Okay, so going step by step, first we need to add this particular namespace. Basically we have to install this NuGet package. I'll copy this NuGet package, go to my source code, go to dependencies and manage NuGet packages. I'll click on browse and paste it. Okay, so I'll just install the latest stable version. Perfect. Yeah, I just noticed that my all the libraries are still not updated. Let me go ahead and update them to the latest version. It's a good idea if you update this to the latest version. Perfect. Yeah. So we have added our library, that is application inside core. Now we have to go to the startup.cs and add this namespaces. I'll go on top and just add these namespaces down here. I'll make sure that I do not repeat some of the namespaces like this. This has already been added. Let me remove it. Okay. Next, we have to add few more statements. So already exists. Yeah. Okay. Next, in the configure services method, and we have to add few more things, few more statements. So just make sure you only add the statement that are not present. So I have to make sure that few of them are already there, such as the first statement will already be there. So what I'll do, let me just look side by side so that I don't miss them. Okay, so I have the first statement that is already present. Let me go ahead and add the second one. I'm sure this might not be present, but yeah, let's add it over here. Let me give the space as we have done in the previous, as the sample has done for us. So we'll just follow the formatting. Next, okay, so let me copy all of them. Perfect. Now I'm going back to the documentation. Instruct the adapter to use the middleware code that was added to the configure services method. You do this adapter with error handler with the parameter telemetry initialize middleware. Okay, so we need to go to the adapter with error handler and just modify our constructor parameters along with adding this statement. Okay, so first let us add the namespace and then we modify some of this code. So we go to the adapter with error handler and paste this one here. So I'll just make it using and I'll put a double semicolon. Okay, so let me just quickly check whether we have the telemetry here in the constructor or not. So it's not here. In order to do the work perfectly, what I'll do, I'll go to the sample and see the code there. Instead of following the documentation for this particular part, I'll go to the sample and go to the adapter with error handler and see what changes they have made so that I do not miss anything. This is the first change that they have made, adding a property. I'll come here and add a new property, that is adapter bot telemetry client. Next we have to add few let me just enable the word wrap so that it's easier for me to read. I think I do not have the word wrap. Okay, I do not have the word wrap, that's fine. Yeah, so this is the one. So wherever I see the telemetry, I just have to make sufficient changes. Okay, so these two parameters in the constructor that needs to be added. We have already defined them in the dependency injections. So we can call them in any of the constructor and use them. So I'll copy it right here. So let me just copy it right here. All right, now we have to initialize the property that we have added. For that, how they are doing, let's do the same thing. So use telemetry middleware and bot telemetry. These two statements I have to add. Okay. Now next, what is the change? Let's see up here down below. Okay. So we don't have any as of now in this class file. Let us go back to the documentation and see whether we missed anything. So this part is done. We have added two more parameters. Okay. So this is also done. Add the application inside instrumentation key in your app settings.json. Yeah, this is important. So this is how we need to add. It's a nested JSON property that we have to add. So I'll go to the app settings.json and let me copy it over here. Yeah. And the instrumentation key that we have to add is that we have already created the resource in our last video. We just have to add that instrumentation key. So this was our application insight key, and this is in the overview page. I can find the instrumentation key. I'll just go ahead and copy paste here. The next in the documentation, what does it say? Details on getting the application installed key can be found in the article. Okay, perfect. That is done for us. Now, if you want to enable the telemetry in the bots dialog, currently you don't have any, then this is how we can do it. So we add this particular thing. Let us go ahead and add it. So what I'll do, I'll go to the main dialog in the source code so that I do not miss the property that is created there, because in the documentation they have not mentioned the property. Am I right? Okay, I think here also we don't have the property. We just have this thing. We don't have the property. Okay. Yeah, let's see. So let me copy this and add it there. So in this case, my main dialog is nothing but my root dialog. So along with the configuration, I'll just add the telemetry client, and this is the thing that we have to do. In this case, what I can do, I can just pass this telemetry client to all my child dialogs. So whenever I call any child dialogs from this root dialog, I can just pass all the telemetry. Okay, so this is also done. Now going back to the documentation. Yeah, so in main under constructor parameter set the mean. Okay, this is done. If you're following along updating the, you can refer to the application inside. Yeah, we are referring. Now this is very important part. We need to make sure that we are logging the activity logging, enabling the activity logging, and we are enabling the personal information logging, because we want to capture the user details such as their email IDs and the message details to create a dashboard out of that. Yeah. So how do we do that? By default, telemetry initialization middleware will use the telemetry logger middleware. Okay, activity logging creates custom event logs in your application. If you wish, you can disable activity logging by setting, okay, to false. Okay, this we don't want to make it false. We want to in, so by default we'll use to log when you bought. Okay, so here we don't have to make any changes because by default it logs certain information about activities that we want. Yeah, so that is fine. So now coming to the next part, this is what we want: active personal information logging. This we have to make it true. So going back to the startup.cs file, and here telemetry logging middleware, let's add that logger middleware, and I can remove this particular statement because we are enabling this personal information. Yeah, so I can remove that. Perfect. Okay, name can be simplified. That's all right. Now next we will see enabling telemetry to capture usage data from other services like Lewis and Q&A Maker. So this we will leave as of now because we have not configured our Lewis and Q&A Maker. We'll leave it as it is for now. Okay, we are good to go. We are good to deploy our application. I'll go to publish and publish my new changes. In the meantime, let me open the Teams bot so that I start sending few messages so that it start capturing the logs. And also let me open the logs, and I'll be running the custom events. Okay, we don't have any data from last 24 hours. Okay, so here let me say something to the bot and so that it starts reading some data. What I'll do, let us make our bot working, because unless we don't have any data to send from the bot, it makes no sense. So what I'll do, I'll add a new trigger, that is on message activity. So on every message that I send from the bot, from the channel, it gets received and this trigger will be activated, and whatever actions I define over here will be recorded like in the logs. So new, let me quickly go and check the syntax. Yeah, this is the one, new send activity. This is the method that I was looking for, new send activity. And I'll say turn dot activity dot text. So whatever is being sent, I'll just reply as it is. I'm making a echo bot now. So why it is not working? What's the error? Let me quickly check. Cannot initialize type on collection inlay because it does not implement system collection enumerable. Okay, so what, this will not work unless I add a list of action. So as you see in the syntax below, that is how it should work. So I have to add the list of actions and new list dialog, and here I have to add my send activity. Yeah, perfect. Let me put a comma. I hope this should work. To check that, let me go to here. Let me see. Turn activity members added. Perfect. It will work because this is the how we can add few of the property. Like we can access the turn context property right like this. This is the adaptive templating we can use. Yeah. What I'll do, I'll just republish it quickly. Before republishing, let me run it here and make sure that it perfectly runs fine on the web chat, basically on the emulator. No, it will not run on the emulator because we have to remove these fields, these properties from here, then only it will run. Okay, I think we made a mistake. We did not copy the app password. We have to generate it again. But and that is the next part that we have to do. Let me run it and go to the emulator. Okay, something went wrong. Property attachment when passing JSON on choose intent adaptive car from file does not have a evaluator. Okay. Let me say hi to it. Okay, something is wrong. See, a property attachment error occurred while passing expression JSON from file on choose intent adaptive card. Have we made any changes to that? Did we make any changes here? I don't think so. Okay, okay. We did make a few changes related to bot telemetry, and we are not sure whether that will work. That is the reason we are getting this here. We need to start over. I assume something when passing the expression from file does not have a evaluator. Okay, let's put a breakpoint and let's see the issue. And I need to put a breakpoint in adapter handler as well. Okay, now going step by step. So this seems to be fine. This seems to be fine. Okay, there is already a breakpoint here. The error was initially when the user joins the conversation. So we are not skipping anything. Let's see whether we are hitting something. Yeah, we got it. Okay, we got something. Hmm. Let us go back where it was last. What is the place? Dialog bot. Let me just stop the debugging and see what's the issue here. The classes. Okay, that is fine. For now, what I'll do, I'll remove this telemetry from here. From the main dialog, I'm removing the telemetry. Okay, so now let me start run this one. Let me run again and see whether we get the issue again. Okay, we again have the issue on choose intent. From file does not have an evaluator. It's not a built-in function or a custom function. What I'll do, let me just comment this code out and check whether we are getting the issue here on this method that we have added or it's something else. This is how we can debug to the root cause. Okay, perfect. We don't have any issues here. That means we are having some issues when we were adding those bot telemetry. So we have added in adapter with error handler. Let me just comment that out and see whether we still face the issue. Let me do control X so that the next time I come here, I can just paste it there. Yep. Okay. Let us run again. Okay, we do not have issues over here as well. Then what is the place that I have left? Root dialog I have commented. The telemetry. Let me check if my code is still was working for that. I'm just checking whether my code was working. Yeah, I'm just reverting all my changes. I'm just checking whether my code is working fine. Okay, code is not working. Yeah, the last change that I have to revert is the version. That was the version change that I have done. It was 413, 413.1. Let me modify it. I'm going to revert back all of them for to 413.1. Yeah, we do get some issues while upgrading the versions because some of the class files get deprecated. Perfect. So the issue was in the dependencies that I have added, and I'll just revert back to the place where it was quickly. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, yeah, and Control Z. Perfect. Then in the startup, I have uncommented it. In the root, uncomment, uncomment, Control Z. Perfect. Now I can just run it. Now we make sure that it should be working fine. Okay, we got it. Add item. Okay, we are getting in this way. So it has to be in the format of this way, I think, because it's a variable type. Yeah. So now let us again run it. Add item. Perfect. Now we are getting as a echo bot response. Hi, hello. Yeah. So now we have made our adaptive card echo bot now. Perfect. Now we are good for the deployment. Before deploying, I have to just do Control Z on here. Yeah. Now I can just redeploy it. So this is how we can find the root cause of few issues by reverting back your changes, whatever you have done. So that because you only like break the things and then fix them. Yeah. So the first thing I have to do, going back to my Azure bot and recreate the app password, because the time I have redeployed and it should have overwritten my last app password. So I'll delete it and I'll recreate a new one. I'll copy and go back to the app service. This time I'll not redeploy it. I'll just go to the app service editor and add the app password in the online editor. Okay, the changes are saved. I'll go to overview and redeploy it. Basically restart it, sorry. Yeah, now go back to the Azure bot resource and I'm making sure that my web chat is working. Just waiting for the welcome message to appear. Nope. Let us restart the bot. In the meantime, let us say hi here in the Teams bot. If I get a echo bot reply, then that means our changes are perfect. Yes, we are getting the response. Yep. So let me just start interacting with few more utterances. Then we will go ahead and check our new feature that we have added, that is telemetry data. Yeah, here also we got some responses. Let us interact here as well so that we get a few more logs. Now, oops, I have to go to the application inside and here it is. Go to logs. Yeah, here we see, you see on the overview page. Let me go back. On the overview page, we get something here. 3 field requests and 16 total server requests, server response time. Yeah, that means our code logs are working fine. Let us see. We just have to make sure that it is working fine. Yeah, we did get something. What I'll do, I'll just sort based on the update latest data. So what is the UTC time now? It is 5:59. That is that means this is updated data. Let me just hover over it. And yeah, before that, you see here, earlier we used to get only activity data. Now we have bot send and bot receive. Somewhere it will be, yeah, bot message received. That means we can filter down in our Power BI dashboard. If you're creating one, you can filter down based on the activity name that has happened. Yeah. So bot message sent, that means this one is sent from where, I think recipient name. Yeah, this is the message that is being sent by the bot to the recipient. And here you can see the name of me, like me as a user. That means even my profile logging is also working. And where is the data? I can just go to the activity and let's see some messages. I should be having some message as well. Okay, bot message received. Where it is something. Okay, perfect. There it is. You see the property called text. It's let me open first and then it will be better for you to understand. It's in custom dimension and the property is the text. Yeah, here it is. Hello. So that means it is also logging our messages. And what it was the message being sent by the bot, we can also see that if it is logging. I'm not sure. Yeah, perfect. It is logging. It is logging as hello. So whatever message is received by the bot and whatever message sent by the bot, it is all logging here. Yeah. So now we have sufficient data to create a dashboard. Yeah. All right. Thank you all and see you in the next video.